and I love it so. And so I'm sure you know all what you need to do. But I think while thanking you, I think for me, when Bolanle talked about what the obedient movement was able to do, I would say what Nigerians were able to do, to start realizing that we have no other country except that one. And only us can change it. No other person can change it. I go around all over the world and people say to me, oh, this happened and this happened and that happened. Just like I see people being part of this wonderful part of the world, wonderful school, wonderful everything. But at the end of the day, you are a Nigerian. Even if you try to deny it, even if you try to say I'm not part of it, even if you say I live here myself for years, had opportunity of having everything with anybody who lives in Britain. And I go to meetings where people say I'm not part of that. I might finish with that. But in the end, people are sending you tests from there. People are sending you notes to send money from there. You say you're not part of it, but there's some people who are asking you for help from there. So you're part of that. Have anybody send you tests from Jamaica and say send me money? No. Have anybody send you tests from say South America and say send me money? No. Because you're part of them, people send you texts every day. And I can tell you, if you have 10 messages a day, 11 is the request for help. They don't even know whether you are working or not. For the fact that you're there, it is assumed that you have something to offer. And if you actually have something to offer, say to invest, they assume. So, on this topic, I'll probably just mention one or two things about it. When we talk about global citizen, what does it mean to be a global citizen? Simple things which you all know and can find. It's just somebody who cares, who knows that his action, his behavior, his character affects other systems, other people. So the action I'm taking in my small village can affect the way things are in other places. So I'm not just alone because the world has become a global village. So if the world is a global village, the citizens of the world now live in a global, and I'm global citizens. So the actions, the same thing goes on the issue of social responsibility. It's about caring, it's about knowing that I'm not just here alone and everything. And he asked, how does African leaders lead? They are leaders in promoting global citizenship. What question I ask you is that the person who is going to promote it, is he a global citizen? Because you have to have something. If you're going to lecture, you're going to do anything, it has to be in your youth, and you have to believe in it. So the leaders in Africa, are they global citizens? That's the fundamental question. Do they believe that their action affects other people, the continent, globally? Does it that I'm doing something here, this thing I'm doing is going to affect? Do they live with some sense of social responsibility that I'm a leader? If I'm a leader, this action I'm taking is not good, it's not fair, it's not good for the society. These are the things that first has to come into practice, because if, for example, I'm a local government chairman, I'm a governor, or any other thing, the resources of the state, the resources of the local government, am I using it in such a way that it is meant for? Am I using it responsibly as it should be? Am I applying it for the benefit of the greater number of people? That is why these days when I go to church and people are praying and thinking that only they have problems, that God will solve us and everything. God is all over the world. He has problem on everybody. He's not going to kill himself in Nigeria and Africa because you will have to solve some of your problems. God, yes, will help us. God will do this. God will do this. And when we say things that are bad in Nigeria, it's not my portion. Whose portion is it? It's not portion of people in the UK. They say you have to solve some of the portion for God to help. So when they say it, I say to them, well, yes, I agree with you. But God is not the local government chairman. He's not the governor who has stolen your money. So if God has the money, then we can beg him to give it back to us. And don't think it's automatic for God to solve the problem. I always tell people, I'm a Catholic, I'm a Christian. We don't run. He wanted to say that I'm a Papa Knight. It was one of what he wanted to say. I always said that we don't run the church on Hail Mary full of grace. It's not true. We collect money. And we manage it efficiently. If you don't manage it, God is not going to give you money because that's not what it is. He is there to give us grace to do the right thing. So whenever I go to church, I say to them, pray. And your prayer point should be that God should touch the heart of us, which includes me, the leaders, to use public money for public good. That's your prayer point. Don't pray that there's any magic. And then try not to help in celebrating the Ruskin. So the leader first has to be a global citizen, somebody who cares, somebody who knows that his action affects other systems. Talking about social responsibility, the leader has to have the same quality. No, am I fair? I'm elected by the people. The reason why they elect me is that because I promised I'm going to do A, B, C, D, E, F. That's what I promised. That's what I was saying I would do. Now they've elected me, am I doing it? If I'm not doing it, because that's what I said I would do. Not that they've elected me, suddenly abandoned it, like it always happens in Nigeria. That some people go into office and say, oh, what I saw when I entered. I said, what were you seeing when you were campaigning? Oh, what I saw, or the debt is too much, or the this is too much. If the man, we hired you not to tell us about the past. Because if the man was doing good, we would not have hired you. You hired you because you said you will change the situation. So we don't want to complain again. At least start doing something. And then you can tell us how difficult. But to tell us, oh, when I came in here, it will change. When I came here, what I saw, I don't know what they were seeing when they were campaigning, because I campaigned to be governor. Everything that I was facing when I went in was what I saw when I was campaigning. I saw schools that were dilapidated, collapsed, no roof, everything. I was seeing it. So how can I now go in and start telling people what I saw? So the leader has to be a global person who knows that his action will affect. And when he understands that, he will look at the global perspective of solving the solution. When people talk about development, I said it's a very simple thing. Development is a global thing and is measurable globally. There's the same thing you need to develop the system in or countries in Asia, in America, South America, and the same thing you need in Africa is measured by the same thing. Human Development Index. Period. Any other thing you like, do. If you like, do bazaar every day. If you like, do ceremony every day. It's measurable by that. And it's categorized. Low, medium, high and very high. Simple. So if you like, come out in the TV every day and say, listen, show yourself, even knock your head on the wall. There's a measure here. As long as you're not meeting that, so you're not improving in that, you're not doing the right thing. So for you to be that global leader, because you have to be a global leader to be able to promote and impact your citizens, to be global citizen. That global leader is now seeing this is measurable yardstick that have been there for everybody. And that is where I'm going to be measured. One is health. Am I providing the facilities that make a simple life expectancy? Is it getting better? It's getting worse. Second is the education. Are we improving in education? Are we improving towards per capita? Are we pulling people out of poverty? If you're not doing that, you're not doing anything. And that you can see easily in Africa. It's simple. And when you do it and say, people say, oh, he's always talking about China. He's always talking about India. He's always talking about Bangladesh. And I said to people, I would compare, you will not see Peter will be talking and comparing Nigeria and UK. He's incomparable. You waste everybody's time. Even you who is comparing, no, you're wasting everybody's time because you will never get there. So let's deal with those who started, who were at some point where we are. You cannot see me when I see people say, oh, I went to this place in Canada, I went to this place in New York. But I said, okay, let's find our neighbor and compare ourselves. Because there's a place you can compare yourself with, you stop, you lose hope, you know that you can't get the same, that's the stop. You wouldn't even encourage to be continue. So let's compare ourselves with those who started from. I was in Bangladesh. I used to tell people, I was in Bangladesh in 2009 when this present prime minister was just about starting. You know, if you arrive at Bangladesh airport, you wouldn't live there. You turn back. It was that bad. It was very, very bad. 2009, 2010. We had a per capita income of about below $750. We were almost like 2,000. Nothing was working. Poverty was everything. I was in Bangladesh last year. I spoke at an event. I was shocked. Their GDP 3.3. Their per capita income 3.3. Where they are now above 2,000 and we're below. So it's a simple thing. They've now moved from low category of HDI to medium. You could see the improvement, you could feel it, even while you're there. You could do the same thing with India. Out there. You could feel it. People say today about China, say, listen, I was in China in 1991. And I knew what happened to the places I visited. And why do I use these countries? They were countries that were huge population. You could see poverty in the street. If you look out of your window in the morning and see the number of people on the street, you'll be shocked. What was their HDI then? You could see it change today. So The leader has to see a global perspective. That's what makes the difference. When he sees it, he will understand. What is the greatest thing the leader has to do if you understand that? Is to invest in education. The more a society is educated, the more developed that society is. I was speaking in Canada 2 days ago and I asked somebody, none of you here can stay in the bush for 2 days. Nobody here. You know why? Simply because of education and exposure. But if you have not been educated and you've not been to school and you're living in the bush, it's easy for you to kidnap somebody and take the person to the bush because it's your common place. The person that you kidnap is one he wants to live in the day. For you, it's the normal home. So when they say they kidnap somebody, where they say in the bush, the person will say, please pay anything for me to get out of here. But the person who did that has been living there all his life. So it's the normal life for him. The normal life for him. It's not anything, because that's what he used to. So when you invest in education, because you hear people say, oh, I'm building this infrastructure. They say, no. The first infrastructure you need to build is the human infrastructure, the human mind. It is the human mind that changes the other infrastructure. If the human mind is not changed, people like build. I was just telling them when we were coming here, I said, listen, I'm in Cambridge, I was in George School. It's all the buildings that they are trying to manage and do the inside small. It's all old buildings. Some of them you have to bend down to go. What is good in it? It's the human mind that it comes out of it, that changes. So that global leader is now going to invest in educating the people. If you follow me a little bit, 2 weeks ago, you see my tweet on the issue of out-of-school children and marginal schools. Because every day we complain, oh, Nigeria has this number of out-of-school children. We have this number of out-of-school children. These are actually the problem you're seeing today, especially in the north, is actually people we did not invest in yesterday suddenly have become a problem today. And those 20 million out of school children, I can bet you, will make all of you here never to come home. Because by the time they start their own, you wouldn't even be saying I'm not part of it. You will say I have nothing to do with their home. So I decided I'm going to look into it. And I visited a few places in the north. Sat down with young people learning Quran. You won't believe how brilliant and intelligent they are. If you see how they learn the Quran, how they were able to memorize it, read it, I was seeing their doctors, lawyers, engineers, scientists, top professors, people who can change the world. All they need is, since they can't go to school, take school to them. The same place they're learning it, employ English teacher, science teacher, mathematics teacher, everything. As they're learning this, they're learning this. We're not the greatest Muslim country in the world. It's Indonesia. And I said it there. The reason why Indonesia is better than we are is that their secondary school intake is like 190%. We are 28%. So the leader must have a global person, a global perspective to be able to look at it. The reason why you're not getting it is that today you have leaders, all of us were incompetent, doesn't have the capacity, doesn't have the character and compassion to deal with the issue. So it's a waste of everybody's time. All that makes impact in Nigeria is the amount of money you're able to steal. Because a measure of power and success in Africa is the wrong things. So, if I come here with 10 police, that means I'm powerful. Whenever I tell people, I'm going to Cambridge, there isn't move around. You have security. If students in Cambridge so we'll be okay. At least there's no bush here. Give me somewhere where some people can call phone. Because phones don't work in Africa. Because the only place people kidnap you, they are calling phone to negotiate. But nobody knows where their phone is. Here, police will know where the phone is. Because it's something that everybody knows where the caller is. Except that even those who everybody is involved. That's why nobody knows where the caller is until you pay. So it is. So when people say, I say, no, I've got there, whatever, I'm still there. So is that because a measure of success for me to come in here with people, possibly when I was gone and say, Peter, all the things you do, you're not respecting the office of governor because they don't push people as you pass. I measure that because by building big house. So we're here now. Peter is campaigning, people and spend our time to win with that winning. And when he wins, he doesn't take anybody's call. Then he comes to London, buys one big house, call everybody and says, doing housewarming. People are including Bishop praying for him. Hey, what they need? When they should have called police. Because they know where the money is. But everybody's celebrating it and saying where the money came from. God should double it. The man had just stolen your money. Because he didn't have it when he was campaigning. And he hasn't fixed what he said he would do. But everybody's celebrating it. My dear people, it is the leader having global perspectives that will make it change. And that's how social responsibility is all about. Listen, I'm saying, am I doing it? Is it right? Like I said, I've been governor. So people say, Peter, what do you think you're doing? I said, listen, those people elected me. I went around saying I'm going to change the school system. I went around and saying, you saw me, I just said it in Canada. It's not over the news. Where I go and I said, Peter, nobody's happy with you. And then I said, I never promised anybody happiness. People are not looking at what I said. I said I feel school. I didn't talk about happiness. It wasn't part of my manifesto. Here, people do what they promise. A prime minister has to resign here for just doing party, which he bought his own drink. I can tell you. In Africa, you would have used their money to buy the champagne and they would drink, and some would say, people would say they were not invited, let them invite them next time. And people would say, it's not that. But he had to go. Because he said people should not do this. And His Excellency did it. Because we don't know what His Excellency means. His Excellency means an excellent person. That's why he was given that. For those of you who are privileged to be in this wonderful school, it's after fair, good, very good, yes, excellent. So, the person who claims to be His Excellency is the one who is not even qualified to be fair. But everybody tolerates him because His Excellency is happy. Then he push like our MC was trying to do. He put His Excellency, Chief, Sir, Doctor, and all these things that have no meaning to even to his life. Because if it had meaning, he would have used it differently. You know? So he said, Peter, but you're a papa now. Who gave you night and you're not answering, sir. Oh, you are CON. You are TYZ. Doesn't make no nonsense. If you do not leave them and it's not in your character, you shouldn't. So we have honorable, distinguished, things that is totally opposite of how we live. Why should we call you distinguished? Why should we call you excellence? Is a thief excellent? So why? I'm not a saint. And I've never claimed to be one. We all strive to do the right things. And we all say, why would this happen? And that is what I will stop today in telling you, yes, if we have global leaders, they can think about the impact of what they're doing about their people because they want to train the best people that will go out in the world and compete, that will go out and be part of what is existing in the world. I don't want to repeat, like I said, everything I say here is what you see me say every day. I started going to, on my own before, or doing government or anything, I started going to different schools. Because people always ask me, Peter, why were you in Oxford, London School of Economics, Cambridge, Harvard, this and that? I wanted to know whether people who go to this school, whether there's any other thing in their brain. Just like you who is here. You will see there's nothing different from those who are here than you. But what is there? They allow the school to go through them. They use the impact to live their life and everything. When I lived in the UK, I recall us going to one meeting. Then, Dove Edwin was High Commissioner. And everybody kept shouting, oh, they are racist. They are this, that. So, the High Commissioner said to me, you haven't made any comments. I said, well, if I say what I say, people might not like it, but if these people are racist and you prevent it, just carry a suitcase and go back to the racist. That's why I said, I've lived in the UK for several years. I've not one day had issue with police or anybody. They live in their society, and they've said how they want you to be. I believe that if you live like that, you have less problem. People cannot go to council flat where they are giving them free welfare and start doing naming ceremony and causing confusion and inconveniencing everybody. No, I disagree with it. I'm not saying it's bad though. People can live their life the way they want. But if you go to a place and there's their own rules, their own order and everything, try to respect it. Nobody is going to harass you for doing the right thing. Don't bring your own system and you want to impose it in another society where they said this is the way we want to do things. I call traveling with a Nigerian to Geneva. In those days, if you go to Geneva, the trains, the buses, the trains, there's no conductor, nobody collects money in Geneva. People come to enter the bus, they pay. They enter the malls. They do this. Of course, you see it here. Somebody who is selling paper keeps his paper. People come and put their money and collect paper. The person that traveled, actually my brother, who is the medical doctor, said these people are not serious. How can they be doing this? Do you know somebody can do this now without paying? I said, they didn't make it for people who think like that. They made it for people who think differently. I said, can you see this newspaper? Can you see all the money here? People collect paper, they put their money. In your place, they would have collected it. They collect the money. Yes, they collect everything. So this is what a responsible citizen is all about. They have built that culture for people to behave like human beings, for people to know, and they did that. Who is going to impact that on other people will have to know that that is the way to live. That I have to manage people's public money. I have to be judicious about it, have to deal with it, and then you can impact other people. And that's what you people are actually saying. And then, as people in diaspora, whenever people say, oh, we are losing a lot, what they call it again? Brain drain. I said, no, it's brain gain. You're going to change that. If you don't, you've achieved nothing. China was saved by Chinese people who came from abroad. I was in school with them. India was changed by the same thing. It is Indians. In fact, my neighbor here was an Indian doctor. They used to go to India to do this. All of a sudden, he said, they're going to build a hospital in India. That's your job, because the people who are there are already trapped in the system. They made up their mind. Nothing will change. It is you now that will say, okay, you are the ones now who are going to, when you talk about global citizens have no tribe. You are the one who is going to abolish the tribe. Today in Nigeria, the elites, part of the elite tools for conspiracy, for state captures to bring in tribe. And I always ask them, show me the tribe that buys bread cheaper. So we can go to that place and buy. Show me the tribe that have 24-hour electricity. So we can go there and live. Show me the tribe that have roads that are tarred. So we can drive there. Show me the tribe where that is secured. So we can go there and live. But whenever there's election, they bring it in. After election, every tribe is insecure. Every tribe is suffering. Every tribe. But show me religion that buys very cheap in Nigeria. So I can go there and buy bread. I told them, if Muslims start today that they sell bread cheaper in the mosque, Christians will go there and buy the bread.
Convert.
They will buy it after they finish the prayer. They go to their church. But it's not so. In this country, the central mosque in London, the land was given by the Queen, who is not Muslim. In Dubai, the Catholic Church in Dubai, the Emir of Dubai gave the land free and build the church. It's a Muslim. So why is our own different? Because it's an instrument of state capture. And once you capture it, everything becomes your own. Those who were singing with you about religion and tribe disappears until when you finish. So the leader has to be a global person, a global citizen himself, who sees the perspective. When you talk about global citizen, it's a perspective to see things that what you do, how you lead, how you serve, affects other systems. You might think you're doing well because you have all the money, you can live all the life, fly private jets, live all. These are just vanities. Just wasting everybody's time, because eventually one day you will lose it, you know. So you can live any type of life and all that, and buy yourself like, you know, people who come from poor background, like designer things, even when you don't know the meaning of anything. So you live in a system, people can see you and say, oh, you know, the shoe I'm wearing, do you know the cost of what? I said, if you were supposed to wear it, you wouldn't start asking me, do I know what you're wearing? Because I would have known your value that you're supposed to be wearing something that is expensive. So, this is how it is. And that's where I'll stop. To be socially responsible is that you must always be living what we call examined life. Unexamined life is all worth living. This thing I'm doing, what is it for? Of what we use? What am I going to achieve with it? Like I said, people come and ask me when I was governor, why are you not doing this? Why are we going to do this? And then say, oh, since people are not happy, since it's Christmas, since it's Easter, why don't you do party, organize, bring them together and everything? I said, well, people can do it. Fortunately, the money I need to do it is what I need to fill school. I'm not running a bar, I'm not running a this thing. People want to do it, can do it. Oh, why are you not doing this? I shut down we used to have governor's lodge in Abuja. I shut it down. They say, oh, you need it. Governor of Anambra doesn't live in Abuja. So why is he going to have a house in Abuja? What for? Oh, no. What is even worse? Whenever I go to Abuja, they give me allowance that I'm supposed to be used to stay in hotel, give me allowance to eat and other things, and then they give the man in Abuja about 150 to 100,000 naira to feed me. And I'll call the man who cook all sorts of food. And I say, why are you cooking? He says, hey, in case you are called with somebody, or you want to keep it in case. I say, no. Only restaurant. Kids food in case somebody comes. But they're selling food. I'm not going to come. If I'm going to come with people, I'll let you know. And besides, why are we going to give you 50,000 naira? When I was in government, the buffet in Hilton is 5,000. So we are giving this man 100,000. And each time I go there to eat, somebody will pay for me. So why are we giving this man that? We don't need it. We have guest houses. When I started about 12 guest houses, and I said to them, hey, what did our brother say you with guest houses? Oh, in case God will have a visitor. How? I've asked that question everywhere I go. I was in Canada, I asked the leaders of the province, you people have guest house in the capital. They don't have. In America, no American state have guest house in Washington. In America, the American states, there's nothing called first lady of the state. Where did we learn this from? So all we learn is bad thing, create additional confusion that wastes everybody's time and money. You know? So you do it, and then they now have office. I always emphasize on issue of first lady. And people say, why is it? No. The reason is that your office had more money than some of our ministries in education. I asked them, why is this? They say, they even have advisors to advise somebody who was not elected, who has nothing to do apart from creating additional confusion in a system that is already confused. So my dear people, these are things that if the leader is the right person and understands it, then it can impact. You might think, oh, this is done. I'm a young person in Cambridge today. It doesn't bother me and everything. I can tell people, I said, I was like you sometime, and I thought, I won't meet it though. This thing that is happening will not. And all of a sudden, we're now facing it where, no problems every day. You wake up, and say you want to go here. People say, no, don't go there. It's not secure. You want to go here. Oh, no. They quarrel with you. Let me once again thank you for your interest. Because what brought you here today is your interest in knowing and listening about your country. You have no other country except that one. Even if you decide to be a British citizen, which you are entitled to, which I always tell my own children, I say, listen, you can be a citizen of anywhere, but we're Nigeria. They will remind you, you can be a Nigerian, British, American. If there's a problem, they'll remind you where you're coming from. Yeah. So it's important that that place works, and you make it work, and you can make it work. That society you're allowing them to abuse will take his revenge on you, like he's taking your revenge on your parents today. Thank you, and God bless
you. In the spirit of leadership with a global perspective, the West today is facing issues of unsustainable economies that have pushed the planet and its physical systems to the brink of collapse and created a world of gross social and economic imbalance. Now, as a country, Nigeria and continent Africa are still in the journey of our development. What are your thoughts on the paradigm of development that should guide us as we go? Do we go the way that the West has gone to replicate their kind of system, or do you see a unique opportunity here for us to develop in a way that puts sustainability at the fore and ensures that wealth is distributed more fairly and equally, and in the same way secures the future of Africa? I ask this because we study these principles in school. I'm a second year PhD student in material science at the University of Cambridge.
I said there's no right.
It's also good if you're going to ask questions, try to view context. This is Cambridge, where we can challenge existing ideas. Last year I was at the World Bank, and I was having a conversation with Indamit, who was the World Bank Vice President. And the whole presentation from Harvard Business School. My name is Chika Ezekiel. I just finished my PhD last week. And all the whole models we were running was tilting towards remove subsidy, which we also mentioned basically in your campaign on why Nigeria should remove subsidy. And now President Bola Tinubu came in and removed subsidy without countermeasures, and we saw the effect. In the foreign exchange and every other thing. The question is, so far that I know in the literature, in community measure literatures and economic literature, none of the measures from the West has ever worked for Nigeria.
Thank you.
And then, if none of the measures have worked, do you think we shall align closely to the East? Because you mentioned China. And even though we don't follow the paradigm of their development, like Patience is mentioned, what is the measure that we are going to adopt? That's, in terms of looking at it from the perspective of developing local measures for our local problems. Up till today, we are still waiting for Oxford to release malaria vaccine that they've developed, which they've not globalized. Now, if you become president, how would you handle some of these contextual problems with contextual solutions?
Thank you.
Being fully aware that there are structures in place.
Okay, you're answering that.
No, because you are also aware of the structures that stopped, good leaders from emerging as president or governors. And they are still existing.
Education. There are universal basic education at the center, which is Abuja. We have universal basic education in the states, and we have universal basic education in local governments before the money gets to the school. So when they give us money in Abuja, It comes to the system in the state, goes to the system in local government before it goes to school. And I said, no. Why can't the money move from Abuja to school? These two toll gates are not necessary. They just reduce the quantum of the money that is applicable in school. And I had all sorts of petitions. Because I mentioned it in one of his speeches. He said, listen, you can question Peter's method, but you can't question what is actually. I said, no, you can't do it. Why can't we give money to the principal of the school? Everybody knew that as a governor, I visited all secondary schools. All senior prefects had my phone number. Every money we spent went to the principal. So we have a place, like I always give as an example, we had an erosion in KRC, which are calling Onitsha. The principal said he will fix it with 27 million naira. Our ministry have almost 80-something million naira. And they said the principal is not a qualified engineer, he's not this, he's not this, anything. The person who lives with this erosion said he needs 27. You who is going to go from here and do it said you need. It's done it since 2009. No erosion. If we had done it, it would have been a problem. I was impeached for not obeying due process. That was what my first impeachment. My first impeachment was my office. When I became governor, there was no office of governor or the governor's resident because for one issue or the other, those who knew Anambra State very well, it was burnt. That is not the issue I'm going to do. But when I came, the budget for the repairing and fixing the office of governor was 298 million. I fixed everything with 43,200,000. The only thing I didn't buy new was a table because one of our former governors, late Governor Badinuju, had a table he used, they kept somewhere, and I passed and I saw the table. And I said, this table is good. They said, hey, this table. I said, table is table. It's just for somebody to sit down and write. A governor can write here. He wants to write. It's not going to, nothing, if you don't know what to write, you know. So we bought that table. And that was what we used. The number 2 item was issue of the lodge. The budget was 486 million. I fixed everything with 81 million. Because they were writing designer grade from there. I said, listen, there must be somebody in Oka that can do a bed. Bed is bed. If you have to sleep, you can sleep in any bed. There's nothing. If you have reason not to sleep, even if they bring the best bed, you'll be awake. So don't. What am I trying to say? They say, oh, I didn't follow the due process. Because if I wanted those contracts to those who will share the money, and every other reason. So, what am I trying to say? There's no World Bank. The same World Bank worked in Asia. There's World Bank in China. Because it was in China. Because it was in Malaysia. So, the same World Bank is in all those places. To even tell you, China used Millennium Development Goals developed by the same world system, apply it in their planning and budgetary commission between 2000 to 2015. That's what they used to pull 439 million people out of poverty. India used it to put 276 million out of poverty. Africa through more people. So it is not those things that are for you to use and use them. And that leads me to what my dear sister said. The global view, the global perspective, why is it not working? It is not working. It is not the view. It is not what you learn in Cambridge here. It is the applicability, the mind. The human mind, the way it works, the way you feel and everything. It is you. By the time they start calling you His Excellency and start giving you title, the way you see things is what the way you perceive life. What is life? If not that you have served humanity. It is you, it's a human being. So when we are not saying, oh, how do you people, of course, there's so many criminals that have gone to school. In fact, they're more sophisticated. So many of them. That's why if they have to elect people, they have to ask the question, they have to ask fundamentals and everything. I said in my recent lecture in Harvard that we need to have a parliamentary system, even if we remain with presidential system, where the people we elect will not only debate before we elect them, but during Prime Minister's question here, does anybody answer for the Prime Minister? No. In Nigeria, if I'm elected as governor or anybody, I can just hire some people talking for me. And nobody hears about me again. You don't hear anything. You ask somebody now and say, okay, how about the president? He says on a private visit, private holiday, hey, you're a public figure, you've chosen this. You can no longer remain private. If you want to remain private, you go to your house. I leave our office. Is anybody asking where Tony Blair is now? No. Is anybody asking where his trust is now? Sudan cannot do the same thing. If you must go to any place, you tell us where you are because you're choosing to be a prime minister. But in Nigeria, they will say governor is on private visit. He's on holiday. How? That is nothing. So it is the people. And how do young people change it? You can actually. It will shock you that all the people they are using to do the wrong thing in Nigeria are the youth. Yeah. They are the thugs. When our children are not part of it, our children are somewhere answering children of governor, children of minister, and we hire other people. Not the elderly people that kill or do the wrong thing. It is youth who were actually hurting their future. It is the youth who go to carry ballot balls. It is youth. So it is for you people to understand. The money that is being stolen, you know all the treasury, foreign bonds that is being issued by African countries today. They are payable in 2040, 2050, 2060. Well, we will no longer be there. It's you that's going to pay it. We're just borrowing it and it's going fast. Somebody's going to pay that bill. And it's you, because we got by then. So it's for you to question. Like your colleagues in the Western world. And he asked that difficult question that I said you should write. What? I said it, your own question, I said it. The difficult question, I said it. At the end of the day, it is this people. It's for you. Can you just summarize that your question again? What?
About sustainable development. Is there a unique opportunity here, sir, for us?
Let me tell you. How did China forget about communism? Okay, there's election in Indonesia. There's election in India. What did India do? What is Bangladesh doing? There's election there. So it's not communism. We are signatory to the same Millennium Development Goals. We are signatory, all of us signed it. But somebody went back and said, this thing that I signed, I will apply it. When we are coming here, our man says, okay, we'll drive. And I said, it's easy to drive in the UK. It's easy to drive in the Western world. Because you now have everything showing you where you're going. If you follow there, you get to a destination. The problem in Nigeria, that this is the destination, the man will turn and be doing another thing. But they said if you follow this, you get to your destination. That's the sustainability. And then there's the order. There's everything. I said it before. In Nigeria, if I'm a governor, a public office holder, everybody knows who I am, my words, before I got in there. And I get in there, I'm doing the wrong thing. Nobody gets up and says, no, you can't do this. No, this is not allowed. Everybody just say, you're right. I tell people, because talk about sustainability and everything, it is the system that makes it here. If they elect you, if tomorrow people wake up and saw the British Prime Minister with 6 vehicle convoys, only 6. Now, just like they just saw somebody who did party, only party. He didn't do anything, and he didn't even use their money to do the party. He just opened his garden and people down there, everybody said no. They challenged it. In this university, same thing. So sustainability, the first rule is that people are ready to question rascality and things that are not accepted. I was in America and I asked them, the biggest state in America is California. It's a 4 trillion state, 10 times Nigerian GDP. If governor of California takes a private jet to Washington, the plane won't land before they start talking for his removal. The people. I paid pension. I always use that as an example. I paid pension and gratuity that are being owed by an old woman called Mrs. Ndibe. I go to church every morning. People have seen the bishop. My priest now used to come and do my morning mass. He's not a bishop. They saw him say that this man comes to mass every day while he was coming. I was in the church. 80-year-old woman came. Because I don't go into the church with anybody, security. Because if I cannot be secured in the church, if I don't believe in God, then I'm finished. Because people have to carry God and enter the church with me. The woman came and took everything, my Bible, everything, and told me to leave the church. 80 years old, Mrs. Ndibe. Okay, Ndibe's mother. It's better than I know. Said I should leave the church. Everyone said, "Man, you cannot do that." He said I should leave the church. I said, God will not hear my prayers. That she's being owed pension and gratuity, and she's resigned since over 10 years ago. If I want God to listen to my prayer, I should go and pray. And I said, "Ma, can I come to your house in the evening?" He said, "I should not come to the house. He doesn't want to see me. What he wants me to do is to pay." In the evening, I went to look for Mrs. Ndibe. When I finished visiting Mrs. Ndibe, I decided I must pay this money. After I paid something billion naira to those who were being paid. I said it in several forums because people know about it. I said about how a JS1 student, junior student, made me to prepare school. Because I went to their school and said, there's a roof. And I said, by the time people come back in the next semester, this will be fixed. It wasn't done. I went to that locality. And when it was question time, a young girl raised her hand to ask questions. And because she was tiny, I said, let's start from you. She said, he got up and said, "Governor, innocently, why do you make promise you don't keep?" The whole hall was quiet. Her principal came to carry her until I said, "Wait." And everything she said was true. And I said, "The principal, I've asked you." I've asked the principal, "How is everything?" Everything is good. Everything is okay. Because as governor, nobody ever tell you you're doing bad. In fact, everybody you meet, you're the best thing that happened until you leave. So when you leave, the next time, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. So we now came back, and I asked Commissioner for Education, give me a check to give it. I gave it to him, to her. Sorry. I brought check. I had to go and write the check that was promised to them and gave it to the girl. The same principal came and carried her in her hand and danced out of it. So we can sustain it. If only all of us, like the question he asked, can you change it? Those things you've learned in this, those exposures you have seen, like I've seen it when I was going from one school to the other. You know what I used to tell people? I said, I went to some of these schools like Cambridge, in the business school, they put your name as you soccer, everything, your name is everywhere. What will it be if they see you in handcuffs, stolen money? Is it not the same thing? People are taking pictures with you everywhere. Remember what I keep saying, I'm not a saint. So you don't want to be involved with one scandal or the other. You are striving hard not to do it, just like you. Imagine you coming out of Cambridge here or going to one of these fine universities and they say you are involved with this. You don't want to that. You don't want to do that. She doesn't want to be after saying I'm vice president of students in Cambridge and it's all over the place and your name is all over. So it is in trying to do that global sustainability, behaviors and everything, you're looking for what is the good result, what is this. Because when you do it well, you know what will happen? Cambridge will now, one of the schools that went, my Kellogg's scholar, one of them now puts my picture. When people, because Peter Obi was there. The same way it will be when you don't do it right. They say, Peter Obi was there. What year? Because everybody wants to be against it. So thank you for this. And
to detribalize Nigeria. My question is with respect to the Al-Majiri that you have just mentioned. It seems as if in certain parts of Nigeria it is the structure, it is the way of life of certain invested interests to perpetuate things like poverty, the Al-Majiri, the thugs in the West, the thugs in Southeast Nigeria. How do we break those particular strongholds? You have it in the social-cultural fabric in the country. So how do we break down those barriers in the north that encourages that, in the east that encourages things like IPOB, in the west that we have people seceding, and so on and so forth. There's these very strong things which, even though people have traveled abroad, when they get back to Nigeria, they become parochial, encouraging things like Al-Majiri. And some of us feel that it's setting the country back.
well, simply, I just deal with that simply because people, they don't know, again, when you don't know the value, it's like somebody who have, put it this way, it's like having a private business and having a business where a quoted business. You think that your private business is doing well. So people, because the measure of success is different. So if I go to my village and everybody's in my gate begging, that shows I'm a rich man. When the effect is a risk to me. Because if everybody is doing well, it is better for everybody. But if everybody is begging, there's something one day, one must kidnap my children for money. So those people, the society can only develop by those people being good people, doctors, everything. It becomes more competitive, it becomes more developed. So it is the idea, that's what they can get from what the person that asks about sustainability. It is to have those who know, understand that this is the only way to go. These are the measurable ways of developing and sustain it. Because when people say that we are doing well, I'm saying, how come in 20 years we've not generated more electricity? What is difficult in it? In Egypt, between 2015 and 2022, doubled their output. Egypt now exports power to Europe. And of course, Tanzania, you saw what happened in Tanzania. They just shut down some of their systems because they have more than they need. So what is wrong in our own? Is it that you cannot, it's just human. And people don't even know that the first loan we ever borrowed under Tefabawa in 1970 was for electricity to build Kaiji Dam. And it was held by World Bank. So it's not World Bank, they held it and said, this is a futuristic investment. And that Kaiji Dam is still there. So how many other Kaiji Dam were? And we borrowed more money than that. And we used it to do what? Nothing. We stole it. So it was not World Bank. They lent us money. They didn't steal it. Because I've seen people say, our problem is from the West. How?
They pay school fees.
Speak to me, I've just stolen your money. He said it's the West. He speak to me from Britain. Let's deal with the man who took our money. So that is the same man Nigeria. It is now, okay, it's not become a problem. The North is insecure. Because we didn't invest in those people. I can tell that if those people were engineers, doctors, and everything, that won't happen.
But the northern elite wants it.
No. We're dealing with yesterday. All of us here wants to deal with tomorrow. Let us not be trapped in the process of yesterday. Those who think about yesterday and today will miss tomorrow. Let's talk about tomorrow. I'm not worried about what happened in my state yesterday. When I came, people said, I said, listen, yesterday is gone. We can't reverse it. What do we do tomorrow? If we go to yesterday, and that's why I said that people come to government and start reminding us of the past. We didn't hire you to tell us about this. We saw that things were bad. We're looking for a new CEO, so we hired you. What we want to hear is how to solve the problem. Don't tell us, don't remind us about where we're coming from, because where we're coming from was bad. If it was good, we wouldn't have hired you. So for me, it is not how bad things are. How do we solve it? Solutions to the past. What I'm doing now is part of it for me. Going around and preaching to people like you and saying, don't lose hope. Otherwise, if it's for Nigeria, it's about the election. I finished the election, I should go home now. What is all these things that are going around? I was in Canada yesterday saying this thing. Today I'm saying it, and I can assure you, within the next 4 months, you'll see me in this month. I have ordered 5 places to go and say, what is this man doing? And the same system is questioning. Why are you still running around? Election is over. What are you doing? Did I ask people to vote for me now here? No. I'm saying we can change this. But because they are used to, they've captured it, so this man should go and sit down or come for his own share. He refused. And just be going around talking rubbish. What is he talking? Some say he's even a bitter man. You don't look at somebody who is I'm not a bitter man. I'm as happy as I should be. Because I know the strong things are happening. Thank you.
So, I'm going to ask you a question, probably put you on the spot, but my question is, which way would you go? Would you go the way of El Salvador when they've adopted the Bitcoin? Or would you go the way of Joe Biden, who is banning cryptocurrencies? In fact, Bitcoin in particular. Thank you.
The value of dollar, people are running away from it. We are not running away from it. We are not part of those. We are still looking for it. So we are not part of those who are running away from it. You know, but
there are almost 300 banks on the verge of closure right now.
300 what?
300 banks on the verge of closure.
because of dollar.
Because of their debt.
Yes.
Debt is different from dollar.
Yeah, that is because of their debt. Quite frankly, we are not running away from dollar, and
We want it.
for us it's still a store of value because it's still the only currency we use to trade internationally. The only problem is that we're not getting it. It's affecting even our rates and even our local purchasing power, because for us to be able to increase our reserve, we need to be productive. We're not a productive country. We need to do more. And to be productive is to export. Even the only thing we're exporting, which is oil, we're not even meeting our quota. Somebody who needs help, we're not meeting our quota, which shouldn't be. So we still want to, so I won't say I'm going to go into other currency when we haven't finished with one we have already, you know. However, the world is dynamic. You keep studying it, keep looking at what to do and everything. It's like I didn't mention when you asked about issue of removal of subsidy. Let me be honest with you. There was enough criminality in the subsidy issue that you needed to remove
First.
before dealing with the issue of actual removal. What it is that he went and said, no, there's criminality in it. Things are not done properly. It's just like saying we do not have enough money for development. I agree with that. We need to have more money, but again, we have not utilized the one we have efficiently. Like I always ask people, you know, this country, do you have a national library?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. The British one.
In America, do you have a national library?
Yes.
Nigeria does not have a national library. That library was awarded by a bachelor. It's not working. The budget for that library this year is about 980 or 982 million naira. But our National Assembly budgeted 15 billion to build National Assembly library. We don't have money. So you see what it is. So you have that situation. When the British Prime Minister had COVID, where did they take it? No.
Guy
Which
hospital.
hospital?
Guy.
Can you go to that one? Everybody goes there. So we have a hospital called National Hospital who did not receive 10% of the budget of their summer clinic where one person goes. When it is not up to 3 miles from where the person lives, it happened to me as a governor. They had a clinic in Governor's Lodge with ambulance and everything, and our hospital does that. We don't have ambulance. I say, hey, and when I move around as governor, ambulance is following me. I say, okay. They say it's less than advanced. What do you mean? But if hospital have it, if anything happens, they all come. So that's what I'm saying. We don't have enough. That's all of Africa. The little we have should be managed in a more efficient and productive manner. And when you do that, you increase the production. Not that we don't have enough. So Office of Governor receive more money than education, health, everybody put together. And what is the governor using to do? Because if he has to travel with 20 people who have no reason to travel with him except to create public nuisance and confusion at expense of the state. When we reduce all this, and that's what I was talking about, let us do things in a more efficient manner. And then we can now be able to deal with the future. Okay, the last one, we do.
Candidates. We know your results, but looking at the previous election, most people actually gave. Like personally, I was hopeless after the election because I know you won the election, and people actually came out to do what they thought was the right thing to do. But what do you think we should do different next time so that we don't actually find ourselves going back to this situation? Thank you very much. So what should we do different? What should we do different? Thank you.
I'm going along the same line with what he said. In terms of global citizenship, and you want us to go on global citizens, what is a good way to start? A safe way to start, considering the way Nigeria is right now? Because in the long run, I want to go back to the lead. So what is a safe way, a good starting point for a political career?
Okay, very simple. The safe way is to support those who are doing it right. Simple. Because if you support those who are doing it right, you build a level playing field where people's talents, hard work will match up their opportunity. 90%, call it 75% of my commissioners are people I've never met before. The people I've never met before, they didn't campaign with me. I looked at the CVs, I hired, and they were very good people. I never met my chief of staff in my life till he became my chief of staff. But she's a wonderful woman. Any day, every time. Somebody who can't go wrong with. And you ask about
Election.
what are you going to do differently? People have asked me that they lost hope. They didn't sit in. What we did last year, my dear brother, changing the system that is decadent, a system of state capture, is not a sprint race. It's a long distance. When you want to bring a change, you have for enemy all those who belong to the old order as enemies. And those who are already willing to change. Go and get change all over the world. It's never happened overnight. Because they're not going to walk away. They have the system. So what we need to do is to continue what we're doing. If we continue, they'll change it. That's why maybe after election, they bring all sorts of things. Oh, he's religious, he's anarchist, he's tribal, he's not this. But I keep asking them, okay, show me where the northerners were buying bread with food. No, very example. So all those things will always come in. Because the measure is that. That's how you call it. So we continue. We didn't do anything wrong. No bias is part of the system. People say, how are you going to change the judiciary? They're part of the system. Once the system starts changing, you'll be shocked. I always say to people that it was the same teachers that were teaching when we were number 20-something in secondary school that were teaching when we became number 1. We didn't change them. What changed? Supervision. mindset. So we come to school. They don't know whether the governor is going to come. And the governor walks in and said, what are we doing here? The children, because I empowered them, say, our English teacher is not teaching well. And that was what changed. And I can assure you it will change. Did you see the JAMB result this year? Huh? Huh? No. No, forget about the region.
No, don't go there.
1.4 million.
We have 1.4 million.
Out of 1.8.
And nobody's panicking.
That's the issue.
No, nobody is even talking about it. That shows you
The future.
in any other country, it's just like they say, oh, 20 people were killed here. Nobody visits them. Nobody cares. Here you say, oh, one person. Not even one. You hear that 200 children have been kidnapped. My brother, they carry bus, carry them. Not that they carry them they put them in a bus. Over 10 buses, driving away. Nobody knows where they went to. So you ask yourself, hey, wait a minute. What's going on? You know, they have phones. Even those who are negotiating, everybody have phones. They know where to keep the money. So that's what you face. It's a crisis situation. And that is not, try to condemn it. They say this people will be taking more trouble. Why is this still going around? Thank you.